Hey everybody, this is Jackie Tinker with the Working Aussie Source. I am here making the big announcement. I've been holding off on this announcement for quite some time, and I've been hinting about it for a little while. This has been a project that's been going on for out throughout 2024, and we're finally ready to pre-launch it. And I'll get to it. I actually have four announcements in here. A couple of them are much more exciting and bigger than the others, but they're all kind of exciting. If you have any questions about any of this after I'm finished here, you'll be able to review the website when it's up, and then you can email me or message me, and we'll work it all out. Okay, the first announcement is the Working Aussie Source website is almost ready. We have been redoing the Working Aussie Source website over the last several months, and it will be launched in about 2 weeks. I was hoping to launch it the first, but my other business required Fernand's assistance, and he's the one that's doing the most work on the website right now. Fernand, as you know, is my virtual assistant from the Philippines. Some of you kind of met him through the Facebook groups, and he's amazing. He's working on the website, and it is so beautiful. It is just beautiful. I cannot wait for you to see it aesthetically, and also it's going to hopefully be easier to use and more user friendly, and it's going to have more information on it. So I'm really excited about the whole thing. So in a couple of weeks, it'll be fully launched, and you'll be able to see it. Right now, you'll go to the normal Working Aussie Source website, and that's what it is. The Working Aussie Source is expanding. So the next few announcements are the big ones, and it is expanding the scope of what we've done. In the past, the Working Aussie Source has been a classified listing of places you can get a working registered Australian Shepherd from working lines that have been vetted and carefully sorted through to make sure we get the best quality working lines available. It's also been a source of information with a ton of really great historic blogs and great information there. What it's going to become is going to be a lot bigger and have a lot more resources for you and a lot more opportunities to participate. So as we grow it, you're going to see things like training videos and opportunities to do join in training, getting training from other trainers. It's going to be awesome that way. That's coming down the road. Right now, the big announcement is, first of all, pause before the big announcement. You all know we have been doing the Futurity. We did the Futurity last year in 2024. It was the first Futurity for Australian Shepherds in 20 years. And it was such an amazing event. It was the most fun I have had at an Working Aussie event in years. It reminded me of when I was a kid and what it was like when it was fresh and new and exciting, and the camaraderie, everybody rooting for each other, everybody just looking at, oh wow, that dog did a great job there, and valuing the working of the dog. I apologize if there's any background noise. My dogs are in their crates and they're acting a little bit silly this morning. Okay. And so hopefully they'll settle down here in a minute. It was the most amazing experience I've had in the Working Aussie world since I was a kid. And I had the opportunity to come in, as many of you know, when I was 14 years old, and I met Dana McKenzie and Larry Taff and Preston and Neil and all those guys down here in Texas. And I was only able to stay in it for a couple of years because of my parents' lifestyle changed, and we moved to California, then to Minnesota, and then I went to college and got married and had kids and kind of was out of it. I had my first Aussie raisin and her son and grandson throughout that time. So I've always had a working Aussie, but we weren't able to actually work or do things with them. And so when I came back officially, when I got Harley, I was able to see the program from 30 years ago to current times and to see what's changed and what's grown and all of that. And that has kind of built the foundation for what we're doing here with the Working Aussie Source. And I was gifted the Working Aussie Source from Kristen a while back, and I want to make sure that I'm an amazing steward of this website and this program and actually build it and grow on it. So the Futurity was the first thing that I did to build the Working Aussie Source out, was to add the Futurity. It was a phenomenal success, and I want to thank everybody who participated in it. Everybody did a great job. Bruce Nelson has been just full-heartedly promoting the Futurity since before he competed, after he won the open side of it, and then, since then he's actually entering another dog in this Futurity. We had an open class and a novice class because a lot of people messaged me and said, hey, I would love to do this, but I don't want to have to compete against all these people who have all this experience. So we opened the novice class, and it was the exact same size as the open class. It was amazing. And the novice class was won by Christy Franks and her dog Shaps, and which she's one of my students, and so that made me very proud. And it was just an amazing experience. I can't even express to you how wonderful it was, but you can ask anyone that was here, and we have a ton of pictures we're going to be promoting. Unfortunately, it's taken a long time for us to get them put up on the website, but those will be coming with the website, so you'll be able to see the amazing experience we had. And the photographer captured the very essence of the weekend, as much as photography can do that. It was amazing. If y'all are interested, we did live stream most of the runs, so you can go back to the Working Aussie Source Facebook group and scroll back to April of 2024, and you should be able to find the live streams there. Anyway, the Futurity is strong. We have Futurity entrance for 2025. I am getting tons and tons of interest for 2026, so that is very exciting. You still can enter the 2025 Futurity. We have cut the novice fee in half, so it's $250 only if you're a novice. So we would love to get some more novice people entered. It's a great experience and so supportive, and the perfect, if anyone has ever, those of you that have been to my place for either a trial, a clinic, a cow camp, lessons, or anything, the kind of environment that we foster here, and the kind of camaraderie that we support, and the kind of expectations for dog behavior and human behavior. And it's just such a nice and lovely place. And I want it always to be open and welcoming to new people and old people, as you would, seasoned people as well. Anyone is welcome here as long as they embrace the values that we embrace, and the values of camaraderie, high standards for ourselves and for our dogs, and just a community that supports each other and is one-minded in we're working, our dogs are working, and challenging our dogs and growing all the time. I just love it. And that's one of the things that is special about this event. And this year we're adding a maturity. So you'll be able to enter, and when the website's live in 2 weeks, all the details for the maturity will be there. We already have the Futurity program listed on the Working Aussie Source website, which arenas, which locations, which classes are going what days. That's all on the Working Aussie Source currently under the Futurity tab. You can see that. And it shows the maturity and Futurity, and you'll see that there's going to be 2 ranch style courses, which is arena, pen work, sorting, field work. And then we have 1 arena style course. Last year it was in memory or in recognition of the most recent Futurity 20 years ago, the Yellow Rose. And so we used that pattern for last year to commemorate the new beginning of the Futurity. Futurity eligibility dates are also currently on the website, so you can see what year your dog was born to what year they're going to be eligible to compete. All that's on the website. You can see that a lot of people, I get negativity about Futurities, and I've addressed it in articles and stuff, and you can read those if you want, and I'll address it here. Our dates are long. The dogs can be almost 3 years old when they're competing in the Futurity, and we need to raise our standards. These dogs can take pressure, training pressure, most of the time at a year old. And if they're not, then we need to look at our breeding programs to make these dogs develop a little faster. If you're under a year old, you should not be working your dog on I don't think you have to be careful of their structure and their bones and their brains, right? But after a year, the training programs I've been using lately, these dogs can accelerate so quickly and be ready to be competing in a Futurity-like thing in a year or less. I mean, depending on how much work you put in, these dogs can do this. We need to promote the Futurity, and we need to see what the future is so that we can, the faster you see what the future is, see where your young dogs are, the faster you can adjust your breeding programs to supplement, to adjust, to create better dogs for the future, which is what we all want to do, right? Okay, so the maturity will be this year as well, so you'll be able to enter your dogs that are not eligible for the Futurity, which are older than the Futurity. and you can then, compete on those at those things with those things, and it's going to be super fun, really fun. And we'll have cash prizes. Last year, the Futurity winners took home 500 for the first place and 250 for the reserve. This year we have more money to put in because the entry fees are higher, and we're looking for sponsors. So if you're interested in sponsoring this, we can put in some more added money. That would be great. They got buckles, a bunch of really cool welcome gifts. Everybody left with something. It's just an amazing experience. Okay, so support the Futurity. Come watch the Futurity. We're looking for line judges and people who want to sponsor it, and the Maturity as well. Okay, so here's the big announcement. This is a project I've been working on for quite some time. Aggressively working on it for a year, talking to people, getting advice and feedback. And I do want to give a shout out to Trudy Vickland, who really came up with the core of this, gave me the idea for the core of this program, and it's built off of some the suggestions that she brought to my attention, and I'm really excited about it. I looked at it first and I was like, I don't know if that's going to be what I want to do, but the more that it grew, the more that I built it out and fleshed it out, and the more that it's coming together, I actually do think it's going to be quite amazing. So if I had a drum roll, I would make the drum roll right now. But we are going to be introducing in 2025 the Working Aussie Source Dog of the Year program and World Ranch Finals. Yay! It's going to be in conjunction with the Futurity. So the Working Aussie Source Dog of the Year program is separate from the World Ranch Finals. Though we'll talk about the Dog of the Year program. The Dog of the Year program will be for awards for the top dogs that accumulate the most points in trialing throughout the year. Pretty simple, right? The top minimum 25, possibly more, we're going to try and get as many dogs as we can, will be invited to the World Ranch Finals in conjunction with the Futurity next year. So in 2026, we'll have the Futurity, the Maturity, and the World Ranch Dog Finals. And so that's really exciting. So how does this work? Let's break it down. The Dog of the Year program, they're pretty much the same. The Dog of the Year program is the points accumulation. So whether you go to the finals or not, the top dog will win awards. You don't have to be here, and, cash prizes and awards. And then the top, 25 to 50, I'm hoping we can get a ton of dogs in the World Ranch Finals in cattle and sheep, will be invited to compete in the finals here with the Futurity and the Maturity. Okay, so this is going to be awesome. All right, so let's just talk about the Dog of the Year, because that gets you to the World Finals. Okay, so the Dog of the Year program, this is what was suggested, and I really like how it's come together. We as a breed have been hiding our light under a bushel. We have some really great dogs. We have good dogs with good instinct and abilities, but we've been playing it way too safe, competing in the same old venues with tiny little 100 by 200 arenas in Course A and Course B. Just let me be frank, and if I step on your toes, sorry. I think we can do better. And so my number one goal, and the goal of the Working Aussie Source, is to promote the Working Australian Shepherd. In order to do that, we need to get our dogs out competing against other breeds and other dogs in other organizations. So you will be able to earn points competing in all the organizations. We have the primarily judge trials, which are AKC, ASCA, AHBA, and some like USBCHA and TSDA, and some of the subsidiaries of USBCHA, they're judged. Okay, and then we have the points and time trials, MSSA, USBCHA, NCA, and all the subsidiaries there, and whatever else regional. There's just tons of time points organizations popping up all over the place. We don't have a place that will isolate the amazing accomplishments of the Working Australian Shepherd across all these venues, and so now we do. So basically what you'll do is you'll go and compete in any of these organizations, and you will get points for the dogs that you beat. Plain and simple. So one of the complaints I've heard about these points in time, and I have experienced it myself, is that our dogs are not fast enough to compete against Border Collies. I'll give you that. Most of our dogs are not. My dog is not. Copper is not the fastest dog. He's extremely accurate. I can put him anywhere. We can get all the points, but we don't get the times. And they're usually significantly farther behind, a minute or a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So our dogs are not necessarily as fast as the border collies, but they can be accurate. So in order, and it's just a different breed, right? Our dogs are different breeds. And there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, so I've heard that complaint a lot about how our dogs aren't fast enough. They can't compete against border collies. We won't be successful. Well, winning first place is not always the goal. I mean, of course it's the goal, but it's not always unsuccessful if you didn't win first. I've had Copper get all the points and get third or fourth sometimes because his time was slower. That did not feel like a failure to me. It didn't feel like a failure to me. And in fact, the last MSSA trial I held here, he was the top winning dog money-wise by a long shot. And so it is possible for them to be successful in some of these venues. But if you have a whole bunch of border collies that are at open level border collies, it's harder to do it because they're just different breeds, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so in order for our light to shine, for us to be able to do well, we need to get our dogs out there, because I'm tired of hearing from people that Aussies can't do this. They can do a lot of the things we're asking, that they may not be as successful in certain areas, but they can do a lot more than we're giving them credit for. So it's time to raise the bar up, and I want to get our dogs out. And this MSSA thing, for example, is growing like wildfire within the Aussie world. We are to the point where a lot of people are of the same mind. So this is the right time for this. So you compete. This is how it works. You compete, and you get a point for every dog that you beat. So if you're in a class of 10 and you're third, you're going to get, 6 points for the 6 dogs that you beat? Or 7 points? 6 dogs. 7 points for, whatever. How many are dogs? My math is not working today. You get a point for every dog that you beat. All the way down to the second to last place. You're not getting a point if you're last place. Sorry, you got to beat something. But second to last place will get 1 point because they beat one dog. And unlike a lot of these organizations where you only get points if you're have 4 in a class, you only get points for the first dog. Not all the dogs. For the Aussie Source program, the Dog of the Year program, you will get points for all the dogs you beat, even if the class is small. So if it's a class of 2, you'll get a point. And, if it's a class of 50, you'll get 49 points because you beat 49 dogs. This is the way that you can compete, and then we can have our own finals that are specific to the Australian Shepherd, so we can highlight the value of what they do. That ranch dog, that dog that does, have the camaraderie of our own breed and our own thing, but yet we're still out competing with everyone else. Make sense? You can compete in any sanctioned venue. There is no limit. ASCA, AKC, AHBA, USBCHA, MSSA, NCA, and all their subsidiaries in Europe, and I don't know if it's FCI or in Australia. I know they have their own competitions. You just need to let me know what they are. You can compete in those. There are none that are off the table if it's in a sanctioned event with an organization. Okay, they're all on the table. They're all open. And if it's not listed on the website, you just message me, send me their information, and I'll put it on the website just to add to the list. And those of you from Europe and Australia, because I know you guys follow us and you're involved in this, just let me know the organizations you want to compete in, and they'll be there. All you have to do is send us proof of the results. So for AHBA and ASCA, you just talk to the trial secretary. You need that official form that shows dog's name, the date, the location, the stock, and dogs' names and handlers' names. That form that shows the results of the trial, so that I can see the placements. For cattle and sheep, those are the only stock. We are not doing ducks. Sorry, no duckies for this program. So cattle and sheep, you send me that. For the points in time, it's super easy because they post those results everywhere. AKC, I don't know how they do it, but you just need to build your score sheet, your individual score sheet with sometimes they write first place, second. That does not count. It has to be the final that shows me all the dogs and all the scores, and that your dog is, right there in that. It's not easy to get. You can take a picture of it. It doesn't have to be an official document. Just take a picture of it, send it to me as long as it has those criteria, and that'll all be on the website when it's launched. But I wanted to get this message out to you because I know some people are trialing this weekend, and you need to be able to keep that information or get that information going forward. I don't care what format it is. I'm not I am very tech savvy. So you can send me a PDF or a CSV or a picture or whatever. You'll be able to upload it when you log your results. You'll be required to be a member of the Working Aussie Source, which is going to be $20 a year, and you'll there will be a recording fee every time you upload your documents. That's just to help me for expenses of my VA. And hopefully we'll be have enough people competing that those expenses will be covered. Plus we'll have a ton of money for awards and prizes for the Ranch Dog World Finals and the Dog of the Year stuff. All right. So that's the program in a nutshell. All the rules, all the specifications will be on the website. You'll have access to them within very soon. I'll make another announcement, let you know when it's live. But that is the Dog of the Year and the World Ranch Finals. We'll keep a tally on the website of where everybody is and what scores come in and all that good stuff. And you'll be able to see who the leaders are and where everything is going. And so, and then we'll invite the top how many ever participants we get to have room for here in April to the World Ranch Finals. And it's World Ranch Finals. So people from Europe, Australia, anywhere outside the United States, Canada, you guys are welcome. You're welcome to join us and compete and have some fun. Stay doing the same venues you want to or go out. Now, let me talk a little bit about the levels. We have 3 levels to compete in: open, intermediate, and novice. All right, so I'm going to pull my note here so that I can actually talk to you about this. All right, this will be on the website, and you have to compete in the level that matches with our level. So if you're in an organization right now and you're supposed to be an open at the Working Aussie Source level, and you compete in intermediate or novice, those scores won't count towards your dog because it's based on handlers. That's the only way I could just... It was really tricky to have to ferret all this out. And if you've ever tried to match a judged, an ASCA, AKC, HBA to points in time, it's based on those. One group is based on the dog. This one's based on the handler. We're going by handler because that's what we did with the Futurity. And that's just the standard we're going forward with. So for novice, there's a list. If you answer yes to any of these questions, you cannot compete in novice. So if you answer yes to... You put a witch, a hitch, an AKC championship on a dog, you cannot be novice. If you have competed in intermediate or ranch level of USBCHA, MSSA, NCA, or any affiliate, you cannot be a novice. If you have competed in the advanced levels of ASCA, AKC, or level 3 of HBA, you're not a novice. So novice is for beginners. So don't try that. Just let the beginners be beginners. Intermediate, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you cannot compete in intermediate. You have to bounce to open. If you have ever competed in open at MSA, NCA, USBCHA, or any other affiliate or points in time program, you can't compete at the intermediate level. You can't go down. If you've been at these levels, you have to stay at those levels. If you put on clinics or advertise yourself as a clinician, you cannot compete in the intermediate level. If you are an AKC, ASCA, HBA, USBCHA, or TSDA judge of a judged event where you have to have some criteria to become the judge, you cannot compete at the intermediate level. If you train outside dogs or you give lessons for compensation, you cannot compete at the intermediate level. All right, so everyone else is open. If you're a judge, professional, this is the class for judges, clinicians, professional dog trainers, trainers that have competed in open. Those of you that have won big things, you need to compete in the open level. All right. So if you are an open Working Aussie Source handler, and your scores, you have to compete in advanced or level 3 of ASCA and HBA and AKC to get points. Now you can compete in those other ones with your dogs. They just don't count for points. And I know that those things will allow you to, those organizations allow you to go, ASCA forces you to go through started, open, advanced. So you can do that, and you have to do that to get to the advanced level in ASCA. HBA and AKC allow you to choose the level you start in. You can do whatever you want to do. You just don't get points until they're in advanced if you're an open handler. Okay? And there's more that'll be ferreted out in the on the website. All that stuff will be ferreted out. And if you have questions, you can email me. You know, if you're an intermediate handler, you're level 1, your started won't count for your dogs. You have to be in the open ASCA and I'm not sure why balloons just went through that page, but if you're in your ASCA open and your level 2s and your AKC opens, for those organizations the ones that will count. Your started levels won't, and so on down the line. and you have to compete in intermediate of the other organizations or whatever that is. Sometimes it's a ranch class, sometimes it's a whatever class. And if you have questions, we'll ferret all that out so it's nice and fair and equal for everybody. So those are the 3 levels. Okay. I know it's a lot, but you'll be okay. It's all going to be good. It's all going to be on the website and we'll all work it out. If you're an open handler and you compete in intermediate or started or wherever, anywhere else, it's fine. Do that, but they won't count for scores. All right. So the stock eligible for points, we mentioned cattle and sheep. Very good. Oh, this is very interesting right here. This is a cool thing. The classes that are eligible for points. Any arena trial, judged or points in time. Ranch or farm ASCA courses, AKC course D, HRD and RLF courses of AHBA, and they have all the AHBA courses are eligible. They have a bunch of them. Field trials in any organization are available. Ranch trials in any organization are available. So any class, post-advanced, all those classes count. So any class where livestock is being run counts towards points. So that's pretty exciting. So it's not just arena courses and it's not just that. And when we have our World Ranch Dog Finals, we're going to have arena courses, field courses, and we'll have ranch courses with sorting and pens and all the stuff that makes Aussies amazing. Okay? So that is kind of the overview. It's a lot, I know. It's a lot of the new Working Aussie Source program. Dog of the Year, and World Ranch Finals. So until we get the website going, which should be in 2 weeks, but I know some of you are competing this weekend, just take pictures or get a recording or have the trial secretary email you the results or whatever that show the things that need to be shown on there for verification that it happened on a date, location, placements with all the dogs, okay? That needs to be done because we need to be able to have all the dogs on there so we can see how many points you get, okay? That's how it's going to go. And at the end of the year, as the end of the year rolls around and the 1st of January of next year, we'll add up the tallies, make sure we have the top dog of the year. People will be getting their awards, getting ribbons, buckles, whatever it is that we decide to do. Cash awards will be mailed to you in January or February when we get all that figured out. And then then you'll get your invitation to the World Ranch Dog Finals. And it will be in conjunction with the Working Aussie Source Futurity. It is the 4th weekend in April. 4th weekend in April is how we do it here in Texas. It's beautiful. It's bluebonnet season here, and we are just about half an hour away from the bluebonnet capital of the world. It is gorgeous. Flowers, wildflowers, beautiful. As long as we don't have a drought, cross your fingers that our drought has ended. Beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. The ranch is beautiful. It's a great fun, and there's going to be some money to be won and some fun to be had and relationships to be built and memories to be made. So really looking forward to that. So compete everywhere. Compete this year. Compete everywhere. Get your points in, and let's show those Aussies out everywhere. Now, in order to up the ante, yeah, it gets better. If you host trials, I don't care what kind of trials, AHBA, AKC, ASCA, MSSA, USBCHA, any of those. If you host trials and you want to encourage the Aussie entry and you would like to add an incentive to your trial, so maybe your trial counts for double points, reach out to me and we will work it out. Now, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to get double points if you run in minimum size arenas of 100 by 200 or a little bit bigger than that. It's not going to work. It has to be challenging, because this whole point is challenging. We're not doing status quo. We're pushing the level. We want to go up a level. Ask a post advance, that counts. I'll tell you, my arena that I trial in here, I have 2. One is 200 by 300 and one is 285 by 175. It's not much smaller than the other one. You need to have a large arena to count for incentives. If you're running an MSSA trial and you want to make an incentive for the Aussies, for the Working Aussie Source incentive, so that would mean only Aussies would get this incentive. Their points would be double for Working Aussie or whatever we decide to do as our incentive. Then message me and we'll work on making sure that you have some obstacles I want you to think Aussie when you're building your obstacles, not to exclude any other breed, but to say, look, I want to show off my Aussies. For me, at my MSSA trials, it's been sorting obstacles. For cattle, sheep sorting is more challenging, but it's possible, depending on your sheep. But sorting obstacles for cattle, where you and your dog have to work together to sort cows through this way and this way without gates, like that has been super challenging for dogs, and it makes Aussies look really good because they really understand that. So that's the kind of incentive. That's what I really want to focus on. We can support. We're not exclusion of other breeds, but we want to support the working Australian Shepherd. So I've put a lot at you in 30 minutes, and I apologize for the video being so long, but guys, this is so exciting. And if you have any questions about this, please let me know, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. And I'm so excited to hear from you, and I'm so excited. Let me know in the comments if you guys are going to participate in this and what your first trial is going to be. Let me know.